Good morning. My name is Karen Boykin-Towns, and I have the honor of serving as Vice Chair of the NAACP's National Board of Directors. How is everyone feeling this morning? As Atlantic City Mayor Marty Small says, it's a great day. But today is also a historic day. Not only are we meeting as a group for the first time since the coronavirus pandemic turned our lives upside down, but we are joined by the first Black female Vice President of the United States of America. As we continue to recover from the worst global pandemic our country has seen in over a century, and Black Americans face unprecedented assaults on our civil rights, we're at a critical point in our nation's history. How we take action or fail to do so will determine the fate of our democracy as we know it. But there is a glimmer of hope, because we now have representation at the highest levels of government. This is power. We have waited far too long to have a Black woman representing us in the White House. It is imperative that we support her and uplift her. All of the progress she has made and continues to make for our community, we must support her. Whether it's to protect Black mothers, ensure that our youth have equal access to higher education, or advocate for us both at home and abroad, Vice President Harris delivers for us. Those who know me know how important it is to be a person of action. I am a Black woman raising young Black women. I believe in the power of action. I believe in taking action to empower each other, empower our communities, and most importantly, empower Black people. Nothing, I repeat, nothing is more unstoppable than a Black woman in action. Black women are supreme. However, the unfortunate reality is that as Black women, our greatest achievements are often overlooked. Work that we as Black women do is often not raised to the level of importance that it deserves. Everyone in this room knows this to be a fact, but we at the NAACP know how hard our Vice President has been working to address long-standing inequities that previously did not get the attention they deserve. For as long as Black women have given birth in this country, we have been faced with a maternal mortality crisis. As of 2020, the maternal mortality rate for Black women was 55.3 deaths per 100,000 live births. That is 2.9 times the maternal mortality rate for white women. Black mothers are less likely to have access to the maternal health services they need, less likely to have access to paid maternity leave, and more likely to face the bias and racism from the healthcare professionals they rely on to keep them healthy and safe. Our cries to protect Black mothers have long fallen on deaf ears. But as a Black woman and fervent advocate for our community, Vice President Harris has and continues to advocate for real systemic change that will make us feel seen, heard, and protected. This is power. As a senator, Vice President Harris introduced not one, but two substantial pieces of legislation aimed at addressing the Black maternal health crisis at both the federal and state levels. The Maternal Care Act and the Black Maternal Health Momnibus Act are the type of impactful legislation that we get when we have a woman of action representing us. Vice President Harris, her work did not stop in the Senate. Since taking office, the Biden-Harris administration has made maternal health care a top priority. In addition to continued advocacy for meaningful legislation, they are working with federal agencies to develop the White House blueprint for addressing the maternal health crisis and have established an annual Maternity Health Day of Action. Since she was sworn into office, Vice President Harris has proven exactly why representation matters. Now more than ever, we need women who take action and represent the interests of the entire country, not simply a privileged few. Vice President Harris was raised in a family where activism was rooted in action. Our Vice President, she has been focused and consistently delivering on behalf of our communities. Although she may be the first, we must do everything in our power to ensure that Black women can continue breaking glass ceilings. We must cultivate the greatness that exists within each and every one of our children by creating systems that not only provide them with opportunity to access higher education, but instill the confidence necessary for them to take up space in the rooms that we have been shut out of for far too long. As the first HBCU alum to lead our nation from the White House, Vice President Harris is nothing less than a fierce advocate for the continued success of our HBCUs and consistently serves as an example of how our HBCUs provide students with a high quality education and prepare them for lifelong success. I am a mother of 2 female engineers from the illustrious North Carolina A&T State University. Can I get an Aggie pride? I can see how the Vice President's accomplishments quickly became their accomplishments. I can see how the strong presence of HBCU alums in the White House clearly show my daughters, our children, and the entire world that successful HBC graduates are far from unique. They are the norm. I want to take a moment to share a personal story with you all. At Essence Fest a couple of weeks ago, my younger cousin had the opportunity to personally meet Vice President Harris. While they were taking a photo together, the Vice President took time out of her busy schedule to talk to my cousin, who is a rising sophomore at American University. The Vice President reminded my cousin about the need for Black women to be represented in STEM, most especially coding. That moment the Vice President took to speak to this young woman speaks to the care and concern that she has for all Black women and girls. During their conversation, the Vice President instilled a great deal of confidence in her to reach for even higher heights. It was inspiring to see her in action, caring for the future of our youth, even those whom she does not know personally. Vice President Harris has always been a fierce advocate for expanding access to STEM programs for underrepresented youth, especially young Black women and HBCU students. Her advocacy was made clear through the legislation she introduced as a senator and has been built upon throughout her time as Vice President, from the establishment of foundational policies that will expand STEM education for underrepresented students, to the numerous events and discussions that she has hosted with HBCU students and families from across this country. Throughout her career as a public servant, Vice President Harris has prioritized initiatives, programs, and high-quality education curricula that will directly benefit our community and therefore our futures. This is action, this is power. Now, on behalf of the NAACP, it is my distinct honor to introduce to you the native of California, a member of the Third Baptist Church of San Francisco, where my fellow National Board member, Reverend Dr. Amos Brown, serves as senior pastor, a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a fellow member of the Links Incorporated, the 49th Vice President of the United States of America, Kamala Harris.
Oh, it is so good to be here with all my sisters and brothers. Let me just thank Vice Chair Boykin-Towns for that incredible introduction. It means so much. My team was back there and said, my goodness, you know, over the years, we've done some things. And it's nice to know that it is having the impact that it is having. So I want to thank you, Madam Vice Chair, for that introduction. It really means a lot.